Hi and welcome to 11 Plus Swap. Today we're talking tutors and how we can set up your tutor account. So hopefully you've watched the first video in the series, which takes you through the benefits of being a tutor on 11 Plus Swap, the resources that are available to you, the online testing, etc. So this video deals with the actual mechanics of setting up your account and making sure that all your pupils have access to the system as well. Okay, so we're going to go to the website, and here you can see we've got our front page. There's the Tutor Start Here section, which hopefully you've read and understood. It just gives you a bit of background about the site and the resources. So we need to discover or find, first of all, the correct area or school that you're interested in, and for the sake of the example I'm going to use the Kent test area in Kent obviously, but obviously if you're somewhere else then you would pick the appropriate tutor pack for your area or school. It may be that you've got various areas, maybe you straddle the Essex and the Kent area, in which case you may need to purchase two of the packs, one for each area. But let's just concentrate on keeping it simple, and we're going to talk about the Kent test area. So we need to find the package for us. So if we go to the shop and type in, for example, Kent test, press return, it's going to go away and it's going to list everything to do with the Kent test. And right at the bottom we've got the Kent test exam study pack, which is for parents, and the study pack for tutors. So the one you want is the tutors. It's per pupil, it's cheaper. But you need a minimum of 3 pupils in your class, as it were, for this Kent test area. So I'm going to click on that and select it. So I've got a full description there and the price per month per pupil or child in your class. So we need to give the class or the team a name. That's important because that will be used and it has to be unique. So my suggestion there is, if you're running several classes, then make sure that you can distinguish between those classes. For this example, I'm going to set up a company called SWAT Tutor. So my class name is going to be SWAT Tutor and Kent Test. So I'm going to pop that in there. I'm going to have 3 licenses, and that includes myself. So I have 2 pupils and myself, a total of 3. I can then purchase. Just to clarify what you'll be paying here, it's £9.97 a month with a 7-day free trial. So even though we're taking details at this point, it will be 7 days free. So you try it for 7 days, see how you get on. If you don't like it, cancel it and you won't be charged anything. If you get to the 7-day period, then the charging will kick in, and then every month from that point onwards you'll be charged a monthly fee of £29.91. Now that's for 3 licenses, so that's less than £10 per license per month. If you want to increase that at any time, you can upgrade. So if you get new pupils into the class, or if pupils leave, conversely you can reduce that. So you need to fill in your information, and when we go to the checkout you'll get a chance to fill in who you are. So I'm going to just put in my name for the sake of the demonstration. Email address. Now the email address is important because all the invoices and all the emails and all the correspondence will be sent to you as the tutor in charge of the class. The class itself won't receive any emails or bills, but they will need an account to log in so they can access their online tests. So we need to set ourselves up with an email. Now I've got one on Gmail for my company, SWAT Tutor. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that in there, swattutor@gmail. One of the reasons I'm using Gmail in this example is it makes it very easy to set up pupil emails under that same email address. So you don't need individual emails per se, you just need one email. So put our email address in, swattutor@gmail.com. That makes it easy for us to set up pupil email accounts. So my account username, that needs to be unique, so I'm going to use SWAT Tutor, and you need to create an account password obviously to get into the system. The account password and username you use here will be exactly the same that's set up for you automatically when you access the test center. So you only have to worry about one account on the system. So here we go. Then you need to put in your credit card, expiry date and code. Click the I have read and then the purchase. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and I'll see you when I've clicked the purchase. So when the order has been finalized, and you'll come to this page which effectively lists every download that's available to you, order details, any subscription information. So this is your confirmation page. As you can see, we've got quite a few downloads there. Now during the trial period you'll only be able to access those with a star next to the name. So you'll have access to all of the papers as far as the comprehension side of it goes. You'll be given access to the first test. Okay, so you're going to download that, take it online. The other tests will be made available as soon as the 7 days is up. Okay, and same with the answer sheet. So these are your downloads, which you can get to from your accounts page, and then you'll be able to distribute those to your pupils within that class that you've or will sign up, and we'll show you that in a second. So at the moment then we've signed in as ourselves as the tutor, and this is what we've got available as far as the downloads is concerned. We've also got access to the test center, which we can get to from take a test as other. Okay, so if I go into the test center now and type in my SWAT tutor username, type in my password and log in. So I'm now logging in as the tutor, as I say, and you can see on the left we've got the Kent test because that's the product I purchased. Obviously if you're purchasing another test you'll get slightly different. You won't say Kent test, you'll be whatever your area or school is, and also access to the Topic Genius, where we have multiple maths, English, verbal, non-verbal as appropriate test areas that focus. So we're going to look at the maths, for example. We'll see we've got lots and lots of quizzes or tests relating to different areas. So we can go and look at addition, and we can attempt a quiz, 40 minutes, and that will help your pupils focus on specific areas. If they're, for example, they're a bit weak on addition, you can send them off to the addition section. If it's angles, obviously do angles. So we've got quite a few there. If you find any that you feel we should include, please let us know and we'll do our best to include those. So these are the Topic Genius area, the Kent test area, also available. It's up to you how you administer that and let your pupils have access to this. So that's the test center, which if you go back to the home page you'll find there's a video on the home page which takes you through just getting started with a quick start video. Worth watching because it tells you how you can progress through the different tests, because you only see the tests as you take them and complete them. Then it opens up the next test in the sequence, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the test center. Let's go back to our 11 Plus SWAT site, which is our main site where you can get your access to your account, as I say. So anytime you want to see your downloads, there they are. Just click on the right hand side and that will download that file into your browser, as you can see here, and then you can open that up and then print it as appropriate or give that to your pupils. For, in this case, that's for the this one is the story of the hero Makoma comprehension. So these are the downloads. As I say, you've got access to your team membership, which we'll come on to in a second, your membership, your orders, your subscriptions, payment details, account details. So should you need to change your password, for example, you can come in here and change your password. Okay, so that's you and your account. What else have you got? You've got, if you go to the video how-tos, for example, you'll see a list we open up all the videos for you and your pupils. So again, if you wanted to go and look at Maths Edition, click away and the video is there taking you through that particular topic. So those are your videos, how-tos. We've got the downloads and we've got the test center. So now you need to start letting your pupils have access. So they never, as I say, sign up and pay any money. That's down to you to look after that, administer that through our account system. But what you do need to do is to give your pupils access to the system. So they'll need their own login. So what you need to do is come down to the teams. So your class is effectively your team. Now you may have more than one team, more than one class on the go. But to keep it simple, I've just purchased one team, one class with a maximum of 3 seats. I take up one of those seats as a tutor, and I have another 2 there as my pupils. So it's a small class. So I've got a list of my members. Currently there's only me, as I say, in that team. So what I need to do is add other members, i.e. my class, to the team. Click on the Add Member button. I want to add a member. There's 2 ways we can do that. We can either use this link here, or we can effectively use an email and send them an email. What I'm going to do is the first one, which is to use this link. Okay, so you're going to use this link. What you need to do is make a note of that somewhere so you've got it handy, because we're going to use it several times, one for each member that we want to create. Now what we have to do is we have to log out, otherwise it will think we're still logged in as ourselves. So I'm going to log out, then I'm going to paste in that link that I've just made a copy of. And it comes up and says, ah, right, I know who you are. You're somebody that wants to join the SWAT Tutor Kent Test team or class. So each of your pupils needs to be registered on the system so they can log in and have access. So we need to give them a username. So we're going to give them a username of SWAT Tutor, and it's for the Kent test, and it's pupil 1. Okay, so you need to keep a track of who pupil 1 actually is. And when we give them an email address, it's similar but not quite the same. So it's going to be SWAT Tutor, and it's going to be the plus sign Kent test, and then pupil 1 at Gmail. Now the advantage of using a Gmail account is it lets you use this syntax of having your original name, swattutor at Gmail, but having the plus signs after it, so you can put anything after it. And even though that makes the email unique, the actual address will always be swattutor at Gmail. So that's the account that will receive all emails. Now we're not planning on sending any emails to your pupils, but you just need an email address to log into the system. So we've got a username, SWAT Tutor, Kent Test, Pupil 1. Now of course if you're somewhere else, whatever you want to call we've just called Kent Test for just to keep that simple and for the use of the demonstration. So that could be your name, it could be anything. But as long as it's unique, and we use that throughout, so it could be CSSE if you were doing Essex, or whatever you want. As long as you know, and it's very easy to work out what the username is. So keep a record of who the pupil is and their username, email address and password. So this one is for, let's say, John Smith, pupil 1. Then we can register. And success. So we've now set up our first pupil on the system. Okay, and it's logged in, that pupil as well. Okay, so if you go and as a pupil this would be your account. You don't really want pupils having to worry about what's in the membership. They'd just be really interested in going to the videos. That's the only reason they would probably come to this site. Okay, obviously they're going to be using the SWOT test center, but they would have probably no need to use the rest of the site over this side apart from the videos. Okay, so I'm going to log out, and then I'm going to make a note or copy the address that I made earlier, and I'm going to register my next pupil. Okay, so this time the username is SWOT Tutor, my company. Kent Test, wasn't it? Kent Test. And then this time we're going to have pupil 2, which makes it unique. The usernames must be unique across the whole system. That's why it's a little bit long, just so that we don't clash with anybody else on the system. Email address, similarly as before, SWOT Tutor plus, okay, Kent Test plus pupil 2 at gmail.com. Password, make a note, or put a password in, make a note of it. So first name, for example, whatever your pupil's name is. If you don't know the pupil name, just you could call it SWOT pupil 1 or something, SWOT pupil 2, SWOT pupil 3, whatever you need, as long as you can identify them, because when we go into the online testing, you want to be able to find your pupils on the system very easily and know who they are, so you can monitor and gauge their progress. So we're going to register, and again that will register them on the system. Okay, so now if I log out, and this time I'm going to log in as myself. I go to account, for example, and type in my username, SWOT Tutor, my password. So I look at my team now. I can see I've got no seats left because I've got 3 licenses used up. SWOT Tutor myself, my first pupil, and my second pupil. Now if I head across to my Gmail inbox, which is 11plusswot at gmail.com, I can see I've got some accounts that have been created. Okay, and as you can see, there's my pupil 2. Okay, even though my email address, if you recall, was SWOT Tutor plus Kent Test plus pupil 2, all the emails actually go to SWOT Tutor. So I can see all the emails that get sent to my pupils in this one inbox. Your pupils, as a reminder, never receive any emails from us because we're not setting them up to have access to any emails, and there's no need for them to. Okay, so that's us set up. Let's log in as a pupil now, okay, and see what they see, just so that you've got the big picture. So I'm going to log out. Let's log in as John Smith, which, if you recall, username was SWOT Tutor. So let's go. Now they would never log in here unless they need to go and look at the videos. As you can see, if you're not logged in, you've got to log in to access them. So if we click on the login link as a pupil and then type in our SWOT Tutor Kent Test pupil 1. So you'll need to give your pupils this username. Give them the email, give them the password you set up. They can then log in. They can then view the videos. So if you're doing maths edition, they can then log in and see the videos. That's probably the only reason they want to come to the website. What they're really after, of course, is the papers, the downloads, which you'll have given them from your account. You'll have printed them off and sent them out or handed them out. If we go and look at the test center now, still logged in as me from last time, so I'm going to log out, and your pupil will log in again with the username SWAT Tutor Kent Test, and it was pupil 1 with the password. So this is the same login as the main site, and now they've got access, as you did as well, to the Kent test. Well, whatever test you're taking in your area, this will be set up for you. Just a reminder, as this is a demo, it's set up for the Kent test and the Topic Genius access as well. Okay, so they can go in and start taking their tests. So verbal reasoning test 1, non-verbal, spatial. Now just as a reminder, and you're seeing this if you've watched the intro video, these are tailored towards the school or area that you're actually signed up for. Okay, so there's the online testing for your pupils. Now of course they'll be doing this on their own PC, so they'll be kept quite separate from your login and your details. Let's go back in and log out. And log in again as ourselves. I am SWAT Tutor. So just to recap then, I can see my team, who's in my team, I can manage those teams, I can add or remove team members, pupils. So if a pupil drops out, you can remove them. That then frees up a seat for you. So if a new pupil comes along, you can give them that seat. You would need to give them a new email address and a new username, because you wouldn't want it to clash with the pupil that's just left. And also it keeps the online testing results separate. You don't want them being reused, as it were. So always give them a new email, and in fact it won't let you create a new user with an existing email or an existing username. Okay, so that was setting up your team. It's a bit long-winded if you've got a lot of team members, but once you get the hang of it and you've done one, then the others just take a couple of minutes, so it shouldn't be too long before you're up and running. And as a reminder, each month you'll get an invoice or a payment to be made, and you would pay that on an ongoing basis, or it would actually take the money from your credit card. If you decide, actually I've had enough now, I no longer wish to use or this class is finished, you need to sort of finish payment for that class. You may have many classes, and you wouldn't want to stop payment for all the other classes, just the class or the team that you're running at the moment. So if it was the end of the year, they've all taken the test and you wanted to close down that team, you can go to my subscription and you can cancel that information or that subscription, okay, for that particular team. If you've got multiple teams, you'll need to have different team names. Don't change the team name once you get started, that would just cause problems with the system. So please think carefully about the team name before you start. It needs to be unique, you can't have the same team name as other teams. That's it. If you've got any questions, drop us an email, support@11plusswat.co.uk rather, or send us a message through the system, and we'll be here to do our best to help you. Okay, good luck, and look forward to working with you.